Got plastic surgery. Perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect shape, too perfect. Oh my goodness. Right. History, just a quick, because I got things to do better than this demonic. Right, so the theme that I found is interlinked with the woman's at the annual conference online, and you wouldn't believe what I'm watching. Well, just as a background thing, really. Observations, and then I remember we found the demonic connections with 13 bloodline families in history that have been trying to control the world as we know it to date. Nothing new, but there you go. So keep hacking me, doesn't bother me, because you're just demonic. Like that. So let's have a listen to the control narrative. Not that I want to, but it'd be interesting. This is all about control. So let me just go and find when we first started. This is just all part of it. I can find it. Got better things to do on a Saturday, but there you go. Would be intriguing. Because if you don't realise, there you go. General Conference is live. Can't make this up.
I join with President Nelson, who said, "The Lord needs you to change the world. As you accept and follow his will for you, you will find yourself accomplishing impossible." I boldly testify that the Lord knows you and he loves you. Together we will advance his purpose until the great day when Christ himself turns to the earth and shall call each of us to come.
Why do you want to live about that?
We will gather together, for we are those who come unto Christ, and we do not come alone. In the name of Jesus Christ.
They want to live forever, don't fall for it.
One of the most striking principles taught by the Savior during his
I knew they had to get someone else involved.
was treating others with compassion. Let us reflect on this principle and its practical application by considering.
I would, in my opinion, stop and start and play, because this is worldwide, and just watch your body language. It's not what they say, it's how they say it. And they're, well, just put it this way, it's very convincing. And the amount of funds and who they get as spokespeople, and they're very good at making movies. Independent individuals, you don't need a corporation, increasing temple opportunities, you just can't believe what they've been pushing. But there's genuine, really powerful spiritual messages out there. Independent, this is controlled, not a religion. It is a controlled. I'll give the evidence and go and research, then I'll just end the stream. But I'm listening to this in the background because I find so ridiculous. Because when you raise up into it, you just know certain facts. Not everybody's perfect, and people like this, they all keep it in. Even you, Pazzi, hacking to me. Freemasons are linked into Mormonism. Yeah? Alright. Where's my little button? Yeah. They're blocking my stream, but I'm going to screen share this anyway. And then just a quick, because I know they've been doing the BS. Carry on with your gaslighting, you demonic Freemasons. You serve the Luciferian agenda. Right. They don't want to know about transhumanism and the reset, the globalist plan. They want to be, it's an immortality. Right, so the Mormon leaders and the 13 top Illuminati bloodline. One of the things that Illuminati have done install empathy in people towards resisting their wickedness. A letter by an ex-Mormon says, "It's better than I could." There are many reasons why these people, Mormons, will not come forth, even though they know of the corruption in the Mormon Church. One is due to their belief in Mormonism scripture, which they associate with the Mormon Church. The leadership has usurped power and authority over the scriptures. The members of the Mormon Church think that God expects them to support their misguided leaders. This is much the rationalization, and many Americans, well, worldwide now, the languages and people, make about our government. Well, what is government? This is worldwide, by the way. They all know of the corruption, but rationalize it unpatriotic, and mainly this is reference to America, against the government, or ungrateful, to complain when they enjoy superficial prosperity. It is interesting that this Mormonism recognizes the process of the common man's reaction is the same to both Mormon and American leadership, because will be discussed top leadership in both. The reader will learn they are related to each other and both under the control of the top 13 Illuminati families. Why do they do the genealogy research and track the DNA? Yeah, the Mormon president at the time, it goes into it is in this article, considered a Mormon prophet, was a fan of the John Birch Society. Most people who have not even read my expose, this author of the page, on both the Mormon Church and the John Birch Society. We will not be able to protect themselves from the Illuminati. I don't expose those organisations without a great deal of proof. I say this because I know there's too many sources and too many angles that both organisations are infiltrated and both have been run by the Illuminati. The Mormon Church has long prophesied that they would defend the US Constitution in the last days. They are moving to fill that with men like Bo who sparkles have talks with buzzwords from Mormon prophecy. The John Birch Society was part of the process of the Halligan dialects of the Cold War. They pretend to be the defenders of people against the New World Order, but they are the fake opposition. I have met quite a few John Birches, and so far they claim to be against the New World Order, and they want nothing to do with me, or learn anything I might share with them. So the author says. I understand the leadership during this to me, but somehow the rank and file are packed up on some of the attitudes of the leaderships. I don't know how the JBS has managed to do that, but the attitudes they have installed in their people towards people like myself are amazing. Well, this is what the outcast, you see, as soon as you leave. Now, this author also states in a book called Be Wise as Servants, it gives the genealogy evidence to show that Mormon leadership connects to top. Let's have a look if there was a book. Maybe something about my cursor. Here we go. Part 1. Top mind control slave. The Illuminati formulation to create an unprecedented. So let's have a look. There's a PDF file. Wow. 300 pages. Wise as servants. Servants. The Masonic Tower of the Babel. The Mythical Watchtower. Christianity, Semitic destruction. Jesus told his disciples to be wise as serpents and harmless. Be wise as serpents is a history of the Semitic destruction of Christianity and the building of one world religion. As you read this, research based on confidential interviews with participants within the conspiracy B interviews of writers participants. See the historic documentation and you'll discover that there is a great evidence for history we have not been told and a great struggle between mankind as the one world religion comes. That's the author. This is the audio about preparing if you want to play on live. It's been saying many years to prepare tribulation. Okay. Are you there or here or other? I'll post a link. Info and awaken. Either one. Hello, May. What the Mormons are doing right, let me have a look at this channel. How are you? Hold on, more Isn't it interesting when they cut you off? So 13 multimedia, 13 bloodline families. I just found the book. This highlights basically 6 o'clock, 20th, 10th, 2021. Masons, Freemasonry, the demonic, Luciferian, Joseph Smith Jr., Archmason, prophet, founder of the super right of Freemasonry, called Mormonism. And ironically, here we are, 2021, in there promoting their conference. So, H.G. Wells, a prophet of New World Order, British Fabian Society, whose plans and books have been important for leading. Good gracious. Deeper insights into the formulation. So you've got part 1, part 3, this book. If you want to look into, you might be able to find. This is dated 22nd August 2007. Let's see if there is a visual. The globalist elites, transition and the capitalist classes. I'm just going to see if there is some video. Let me just check and I might, right. It is not a flight path for helicopters, by the way, so how would that be? You can just go and do one. Right. After what happened during last night as well, I'm not surprised. Gotta just stop this date on here. Right. Oh, I can't stop the date just yet. I can wait. Hasn't stopped ringing all day. Right. Just check this. I think Repo linking. Just gonna check. And I'll try and play the link. Right, let me just move that out of the way. I'm just getting on. I'll come back in later. Well, there's what you find out eventually. It's that birthday. This weather is awful. The weather's changing, the world is changing. I shall be back, as they say. One more order. Control. Right, let's have a look at that list. You hear me now? Yeah, just had to make some look on that link. My so bear with me. I'll get it up on the other channel. How are you? I'm just trying to get into the other channel. I'll get that link up. So I'm about to share a link. I'll streaming on both channels. It's what about the Mormons, the Freemasons are promoting their conference. Right, what is important? So, I'll get there in a moment. Especially around me like honey podcast yesterday. Since I mentioned the word Freemasons, it gets attention, doesn't it? Because the demonic entities do not like that. Open to truth. Spiritual as well. Oh, they do not like it. The occult and their witches and their covenants, and it's very well organised. I can't find that book I found a while ago about it. Let's see what I get in the chapters. Me too, my nutritious apple Cambridge healthy protein bar. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Okay. About preparing. If you want to play it online, he's been saying many years to prepare the tribulation. A decent channel. I'm hanging in there with the grace of God, just like you. Prayers and blessings, Mo. No sound. Yeah, I know. I just got a hat on back. Right, here you go. For the adverts first. Okay, let me just hold on. They keep playing adverts. Get away. They keep controlling my cursor. I can't stop it. See? They keep hacking into my computer. Thank you very much, you demons. Cast you out. Very funny. I'm moving my cursor before I do. Because I don't want it. Yeah, right. Try and get me adverts to see what this is about. Not dealing with the Russian blood here. I'm just going to read if there's a write-up behind it. Right, the author. I warned about many years ago is coming true. Did the tribulation just begin? About it and more. Get emergency supply food with 25 years supply. But I'm going to click on that link underneath. How you can make it to heaven. God Rules Store. Rules new site. It must be a website. Gold and silver website. It's your curiosity. Watch or okay, so let me just there's a link to the long-term storage food supply, if you can still get it, if you can afford it, and just see that link works. The rain won't stop, so I can't go nowhere today anyway to get what I was going to get. So I'll just have to change what I eat for breakfast, changing everything really. making things last. Well, I can't find it. I'll go back to the video. Oops. Yeah. On my phone, but you can see the channel what I am trying to play. So let me go into this. Here we go, the audio.
Got a lot of stories that we're going to be getting into, folks. This is Tony. Hope you're right. This is where I'm actually going to be going into a completely different direction overall. You've been seeing what's been going on this month. We're talking about stores and having less supplies in the stores, and people are now starting to notice it. I mean, I talked to a number of people working at restaurants and other places, and them talking about how they order 10 crates of chicken and 2 crates, just things like that. And we've been hearing about this sort of in the background for the last couple of weeks, but you're starting to see more and more and more of this. It's everything. It's we're talking about hyperinflation, back in oil, whether you're talking about the real estate in CHINA with Everest Grande Group, and that it looks like it's basically really going down, and now it's starting to come over here. This is what I wrote over my other channel. The fact that now you have, and this is actually not related, but this is part of it as well, partially. You have the reverse repo. It's $1.4 trillion a day right now. Okay, that's how much the banks are parking in the reverse repo. And then they created a new one. This is where it kind of gets into the real estate thing. So they made a new reverse repo, and they just recently, right after the Grande Group thing, you have here $100 million increase on the secondary reverse repo. And we're talking daily reverse repo. So you're like almost in the 2 trillion range soon here with the reverse repo. It just keeps going up, as I predicted it would. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the big companies over here that are into real estate, like, for example, this one, owns a lot of this particular debt from this big company over in that other country. As you can see here, has 1/5 of its assets in real estate over in that particular country, and nearly 1/3 of its portfolio is high yield debt, which is basically junk bonds. So we have these companies that are essentially failing right in front of us, and it's like a, as you would say, domino, right, effect. But on top of that, you even have Fidelity. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of briefly go over that. But basically, it's sort of a slow motion thing right now, but it's like so obvious. And you're seeing this with everything. And of course, a lot of these big companies are big in the stock market. So all these companies coming out saying this thing to a job. And now you have record numbers of people quitting jobs, like in New York, for example, and they don't have to.
Why
are you doing this? Why are you doing this? It makes no sense. If you're trying to run the economy properly, you're trying to
that's better. Stop feedback. Right. Let me just check. Close some tabs. Bear with me. What's up? Okay, so he's going into what's really going on right now. People are losing their jobs. This is all part of the globalist plan anyway. I'm going to go back. Hold on. Right. Okay. Just make sure I ain't got too many tabs. I can't get the guy's website up, so. No, that's the one I wanted on. It's not internet. This especially in my area, so there's no one. So I like to do something cautious. Let's see my meat and come on. Right, I'm on my way. I'm messing about computer. Let me. I'm gonna go back into. Right, myguardrules.net is not letting me show it. Connection was reset. See how they're blocking my connection? The site could be temporarily unavailable, too busy. Yeah, right. No, you just monitoring me. You're demonic. Right, we're going to be here now. Don't panic. Yeah. Are you saying they're not allowing you to play? I'm playing the video now. Hold on. Everything's affected. Okay? Everything you imagine. Food, oil, everything. It's not just. This is worldwide. This is all by design. Yeah, I'm just checking they haven't blocked me again. They're blocking me from their website. Just bear with me. I've got some feedback again. Are you saying they're not allowing you to play the video? No, I can post it. I'm sharing it. Trying to. Hold on. I mean, what is guard rules? Hold on. You won't be able to get Right, I've got an audio on my phone because it won't out as audio on the computer. We show the picture. Comes over. Our Lord, our Jesus Christ, our Saviour, on this earth, is taken over very soon. I know, Mo. Tell me about it. I've got to keep checking they're not hacking me. Right, try again. Now that you can tell this is true because they do not like this. Right, got to make sure I'm playing the right one.
All good stuff. Type of situation. Of course, a lot of you are like pretty obvious that's not the case, but
Back
you know what I
again.
mean. I mean, even if things get turned around in certain respects,
Yeah.
the rest of it isn't. And so we're talking, like I mentioned on my other video, I'm not going to get into it, but I mentioned about the previous, as you'd say, pres and things going on with that right now, which is pretty amazing. This stuff, okay, that basically are talking about counting for the entire, as you would say, US of A now. So that's, I guess you would say that's some good news. Now, the issue is, though, is we're already way too far this wrong direction. As you can tell, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. I mean, obviously that's very important, but it would at least, you know, kind of hold it off longer. Maybe is the right way to look at it, I guess. If he does get back, as you would say, and all that kind of stuff. But this guy, there's an interesting dream that you heard of Coverstone. He has a lot of dreams. And his latest one is the most, like, you know, the worst, as you would say, I've ever seen in your life. Okay, I mean, just like complete disc, folks. Which is pretty amazing. I mean, this is basically where it is. Okay. You know, and this dream I saw, and I think it's the direction they want to take it. And I have some idea on what I think really going to happen. I shared some of them, but again, it's something a little different here than I've mentioned before. Because this dream is definitely different than
longer. Is the right way to look at it, I guess.
Wow, it's like
if he does get back, as you were saying,
basically people like you and I who haven't gotten this thing in the dreams, we're like really living, out in the woods, or maybe as you said, covered. They're talking about watching.
Right, we're trying to play video and they keep hacking this computer. Well, I am trying to say, right, good so far. So I'm playing this audio in the background. The link is in the description and the chat on Awaken World Faith. This is what is in the link. God rules, date 2nd, 10th, 2021. But I was also trying to show important information of this book also. How the 13 bloodline families are interlinked. So I'll go back out of that. I'll play this in the background as I'm looking at this article.
Over there, a guy where you're watching over there, and if one of these certain kind of high-tech vehicles come by that can check for things, they have to literally get under, as you would say, a tarp, just so they can't be seen, even if they're out in the middle of a cornfield. I mean, this is what is in the dream, and they're like literally crawling so they're not noticed. I mean, just like, you know what I mean? It's just like that. And then they have these facilities that, if you are, as you would say, found, they take you to these, and it's like, it's basically that. I mean, they're doing this right here at those places. Okay? On, as you would say, you.
Good sound.
This kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just you're testing,
Download your meditation videos and unwind uninterrupted. Try YouTube Premium on.
It's got loads of ads. Trying to get rid of them.
On us.
Hi. Whatever they come up with. And apparently, according to this dream, they have some sort of substance that appears to be like this here that's being used, and they just put a drop in, like, the guy's like, like this. I mean, I don't know. This dream is pretty crazy. So, yeah, here we go. Here's right here. Actually, no. This is the end of it. Let me see if I can find some of the stuff that's a little bit earlier on where he's talking about this. Here are some people that are at that location. They're doing some of this stuff right there. And, I mean, this is, I think, where they want to take it. But my theory is because these guys, like Owen said, he goes over people that have track records with dreams and everything. And it sounds to me like this is something that will probably happen in a little bit farther in the future, like maybe 10, 15 years from now, something like that, that this will be basically what it will be like. And it makes sense to me that it would be that much farther on. I mean, some people think literally tomorrow or something, but that actually doesn't make any sense if you think about it. You understand how people are and all that. This isn't going to be tomorrow. Okay, I mean, at earliest, I'd say a few years from now, at earliest, or 3 or 4 bare minimum. But just with how people are, that's not possible. I think it's probably gonna be like you see something like this. I think what happened is this guy is trying to do this now, okay, but he's not succeeding. As you can see with what's going on, you've been noticing kind of the trends of things that have been going on.
Yeah.
People are out there marching, as you would say, against all these things like this, that you're required to have this and stuff. So you're seeing this, especially in Europe.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it over here more and more too. So there's a lot of things going on like that. There's something interesting that's supposed to happen at the end of this month. We'll see if it does. I really am hoping, and I'm thinking it will. Just the way everything is this month, I really feel like no matter what, something is going to happen within the next week, just because of how things are. Whether it's the stock market like this, whether it's the real estate, or both, or that, and in addition with other things like, these guys here making a move. We told you the ones that actually are leading it, the ones who actually are over the northern, the southern space, as you would say.
Volcano, ash cloud.
I guess we'll say domains.
Yes.
These guys are literally all picked by the previous prez, except for one, and the one that wasn't. I already pointed out the guy's clearly on the previous press side as well. And with all the stuff going on, it might be the perfect time as well for that anyways. So, I mean, there's so many things right now going on. It's just like you got all these things going to the same place, and we're almost there, and you just know, like you can just feel it. It's just, even if it's not that, it can easily be any of these other ones, just so easily. And there's even another one. There's some other dream, and I don't know much about this one or the veracity of it. It's not from this guy either, or any of the people that he knows, but there's people talking.
Have a look at the weather.
There might be, I don't even know if I'm spelling this right, so then, if I'm spelling it wrong, I'm spelling it wrong, whatever. Okay, so there is a really thing going on with this, because there's a volcano, and people have had a number of dreams about it, even March, about this. And they were even saying the specific exact island back in March, and it's literally that exact island right now. It's happening.
Oh no!
I can show you this. So, and I don't have the videos pulled up on this, but there are people that had dreams about this back in March, saying specifically about what's on right now over there. I don't remember the island.
It's in.
I can't remember what. But someone had a dream about this back in March, and then he had it done recently. And it was a very specific. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because it was so specific. I mean, the dude literally specifically said, "Yeah, this volcano, this specific March, and a number of people having dreams, and saying that." Basically, there's going to be a lot of water because of something. And of course, all the experts are saying this is not possible. Time. But it's just intriguing to me. go on vacation there right now. Probably not a good idea. And they're saying that it will come to the East Coast. Huge amount of water.
Yeah, I'll
And
show you a good video.
maybe. I don't know. And that's another one. I don't know. I haven't looked into the veracity of that one at all, so I'm just mentioning it just so you guys know about it. At any rate, so there's that. So there's a lot of things being said right now. And on top of that, I mean, there's a lot of things that are pretty obvious if you just look at what's going on. It seems like we're in an interesting time. Let's just put it that way. And I'm hoping that just in the end, it ends up good. You know, like way better than it is currently. At any rate, so I also wanted to mention, obviously, I've been speaking a little bit more in detail.
They're completely hacking my communications. Bear with me. Right.
Over on my web.
I can't even get into his website. Right, the update is not what the mainstream media is portraying about what he's just said about the volcano as well. So that's the mainstream. There was a channel which I got, I don't know if he's updated. There's a guy that lives on the island. He's getting the actual truth what's going on out there. So let me just see if I can find it. If he's updated any updates to it. Just having a look. Yep, this one has. This was 48 minutes ago. I'll go back to that video in a minute. And this shows you, he has a drone. And he goes and covers the drone footage. So let's get that up. Pictures of the view of the lava flow that emerges. Yeah. Okay, that's how what it is now. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? It's not stopping. It's coming into the Atlantic Ocean. Look how deep it is. It's cutting the island into two. Look at the shape that it's making. Very good footage. Very, very large. Record that now. Top of the mountain. It's not. I'll pass it. Don't know that. So that this is a good channel to go and obviously observe more. That was I actually update. It's the Al Palama, the volcano. Drone footage is very good. It's more in depth than the mainstream media narrative. So it's been covering it the 10th day, the red hot lava, and the destruction and corrosion. He did a really good video, drone footage, also of it coming to the oceans. So go back and find that one. He's actually live into the sea. Don't think goes back a bit. Yeah, you can. Not sure any of the other islands affected. It's not happening again. No. So let's go back to the warning. Okay.
Some new video free video style. So I can look here. How you grade I pulled this up a minute ago. Here we go. They say that everything comes from the sun, S-U-N, okay? And this, Nimrod is the moon god. And Copernicus and Galileo were both Hermeticists, which means they were followers of Hermes or Thoth. They're the same false god. The false god of knowledge, the knowledge, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Buddha sitting under the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, see how this stuff all ties in? Copernicus and Galileo both were reading the old tablets of Thoth, and that's where they got their centrism from. The sun is in the center of everything. Okay, this is where Copernicus originally got his idea to have the Earth spinning around the sun.
I'm trying to drop my insurance.
Right, and you can see here, this is the lotus, which is sort of universal between all these various religions, and the lotus symbol is became a central sun. It also is. It points to this hermaphrodite being symbology. And so we have here, the lotus, and we have here this demon, which is a hermaphrodite, which is equivalent in symbology. So that lotus flower or this.
Watch yoga videos ad-free and practice uninterrupted. Try YouTube Premium on us.
Right, just go and watch the video. Anybody in the finds the video in the description, because they're just hacking me completely now. I'm just not going to carry on with this. It shows that I'm sharing screen sharing, but they're controlling the computer. Go away, you demons. I can see what they're doing. Yeah, I know. Right, let's go into my own channel and check. So anyway, as I'm covering the truth, there's a big no point saying right, let's go into my other channel. Switch channels. Yeah, who else is getting badly nowadays? Like in England or anywhere else? Keep open to the truth. It's fine. Right, I'll go back to what I was about that video in the description. I think you still got the message about my 13 bloodline families. And I can't get the direct link into a channel. The main file is my show. There you go. There's the brain implant picture and speaks out, branded by the thought police. This is why they're putting all this technology. And Blue Beam, the Ungevert project, Brain Second. DK Ultra, constructing the mind control state. Can you believe that? Pattern number, control the mental. This is All these documents are out there. 2016 article. Bit about the matrix, isn't it? Back of the head. This is in Spanish. You can go and read up on the English version. The ultimate is control. Let's keep it in English best I can. This is 2021 July article. You got a Spanish version, English version. As I found the document, I won't cover this particular subject on this format. That is, you can go and read it for yourself. Brain implant. Article 1999, blinking heck. Mind Control Forum's website. I'm not sure that's set up. Wow, look at that. It is a book cover. There's the evidence of the implant. And account of a Swedish security police and the use of humans for medical research, but it could well have been from Nazi Germany. The state abuse were a natural part of the system. There's many similarities to methods of routine and brutality. So, look where we are now. I'm not going to go through all the article. The physical control of the mind towards the, yeah, let's just, 30 years ago, 1968, the brain implant was developed in 1956. The patent, the original first one. And today, they use the high-tech technology and the psychological tactics behind it. It's demonic. Whoever designed it was to remove the 13 bloodline, and they go through the genetics, genealogy in their families, they infiltrate everything, unfortunately. And for the years following the implementation of transmitter, it goes in specific details. I won't read it all because I'll be here forever. This individual explains how it's done. It's a document entitled Breaking of the Body to the Mind, published by, oh my gosh, Sciences. So I'm just going to check the audio. I'm trying to share things.
And we have here this demon, which is a hermaphrodite.
Oh, come on.
Demon, which is a hermaphrodite.
Oh, come on. They're messing about with my chat. So for now, I'm going to put some chill out music on. Okay. And then this.
I'm an author and I sell literally
Every
thousands of
bloody
books on Amazon
advert
every
on the
single
bloody
month. And you know the
channels
crazy thing?
now.
I didn't write these books myself.
comics disguise, not in actual sense. Very funny human entities, aren't they? Yeah, here we go, you see, in England. They're calling it, I'm just watching that so-called, not a sunset.
Hey, up Sheffield, get £5 off thousands of...
Right, in some parts of the country in England, the petrol crisis seems to be getting worse. Why do you think that is? Some forecourts London, they want people to kept in the towns and cities. They don't want you travelling to the future of the technology. And the southeast of fuel. The petrol retailers claim the mainstream media. Boris Johnson, UK Prime Minister, has called it the military. Military of Defence is a limited company, anyway. According to the military, tank to drive the tankers would be deployed from Monday, as the government wants to take all possible precautions. They're controlling the supply. Okay, it's all about control. So, I think it's relevant. It's all the panic buying. Tickets for school children and the elderly cancelled as UK drivers panic buy. That's 4 days ago. Let's listen to this UK mainstream media.
In parts of the UK, the run on filling stations entered its 4th day. Here in Luton, they couldn't replenish the pumps quickly enough to service the queues. From Cardiff to West London, the situation was the same.
I've been to 6 petrol stations, different locations, none whatsoever.
No fuel anywhere, we don't know what to do.
I don't know, government do something ASAP.
The government is doing something. Tonight, the army has been put on standby. The government says 150 military tanker drivers are being put on a state of readiness to be deployed if necessary. Some will have to receive additional training in the coming days to ensure they can transport fuel safely. The last time the army was called in to deliver petrol and diesel was 21 years ago. The hope is they won't be needed this time around.
That's insane.
The Transport Secretary insists that panic buying is moderating.
The stench here is just horrific.
Things have been getting desperate. Here in Bradford, they arrived this morning to find that diesel had been drained from 2 community buses by thieves. Trips for school children and the elderly have been cancelled.
How dare they do something? This affects everyone in the community. It's not. It's purely selfish on their behalf.
We contacted the 5 biggest fuel retailers in the UK by market share. They wouldn't tell us how many of their forecourts have run dry. The Petrol Retailers Association's members run 5,500 filling stations. They say that in...
That's just the petrol. Now we're talking about the food. Mainstream media.
There's a lorry driver shortage in the UK. Dairy farmers are being told to dump their milk.
Yeah.
You and 28 other farmers.
So if you know about powder milk and obviously about alternative tin milks, if you haven't got that in already.
So we've got to pull the plug because we haven't got any drivers. We've lost 2 drivers and some haven't turned up.
In some shops, the shelves are empty.
Without products, there's no business because you need to have the products to sell. You know, if you
They want to control the food.
No one's going to come into the shop anyway.
It's a problem now. It's a problem looking ahead.
Stock is becoming a bit of an issue for us. You know, everyday items from Play-Doh to dolls' figures to dolls' houses.
They're controlling everything to go online. It's digital. There's physical items will be more digitalised online. I think Digital Ocean Sea is a company based in America with a cryptocurrency, the digital things. Yeah, so get prepared for the AI control of food distribution, supply. Everything is going that way.
Becoming a bit of a problem getting the stock in or being, guaranteed that we're going to be able to get it for Christmas.
The question is, why is this happening? This is Nicola Sturgeon's response.
I really do think Conservatives should take some responsibility because
what it is about 3 times more than the fall in EU drivers. Also,
it's all compromised, so don't take your eye off the ball, so to speak. Okay. So you've got pastors, Paul Bailey, is it? America. You've got other people explaining UK gas prices and crisis and more. Food problems on the way. Scaremongering tactics a week ago. It's all about going back to that video if I can play it. That Mo put in the link earlier. I can get it about all the adverts on.
Watch yoga videos ad-free and practice uninterrupted. Try YouTube Premium on us.
So I can get the website up this way.
The Catholic Church pretty much got rid of it. And Ezra chapter 13 predicts that they would get rid of these books. These books would be hidden. We call.
Not sure I can get the website up at the moment. Yes, I can. thelostways.com. Click here to watch a video how to make the ultimate pain-killing tunic. Click bank. Just try to get this up.
Next time you see this plant in your backyard, don't cut it down, because this is the best natural painkiller you'll ever find. Some people even compare it to morphine. This common plant is called wild lettuce, and was commonly used by Native Americans 2 centuries ago for both food and medicine. So today I'm going to show you how to make a simple wild lettuce extract to keep in your medicine cabinet and use whenever you need it. Now if you take a leaf or stem and squeeze it, you'll see a white substance coming out. This is where the potency of the plant lies. Because of this white tooth, early European settlers also called it opium lettuce. This milky substance doesn't contain any opiates, but it's working on the central nervous system directly to lessen the feeling of pain. Nowadays, many people are turning their attention back to this lost knowledge and use it as a replacement for addictive prescription pain medicines. So let's avert our gaze from our modern survival thinking for just a bit, and look at how our great-grandparents did it 150 years ago. This is exactly the kind of information I found in this 350-page book called The Lost Ways. This is probably the only survival book I've actually enjoyed reading. You won't believe how many survival things we've lost to history. I found the wild lettuce on page 113 and decided to make my own painkiller. I collected about 50 leaves today and washed them thoroughly. So the first thing you should do is grind them up in a blender, not very thinly, and only just for a few seconds. Place the ground leaves into a wide pot and add just enough water to cover them.
I bought it. I'm strain it.
Now place the pot on the stove on low heat for 30 minutes. Do not let it boil because you'll destroy all the good stuff in it. Stir every 15 minutes until the water reaches a dark brown color, just like this. Now pour the substance while still hot into another pot through a strainer. Almost none of the available plant material should get through it. Try to squeeze as much water as you can while the plant is in the strainer. This solution contains all the core elements of wild lettuce, especially the painkilling. In order to obtain this essence, you should warm it over low heat again until the water is vaporized. Basically, having the solution become a paste like this. Be careful at the end when there is little water left. You shouldn't burn the extract at the bottom of the pot. What you should have now here is pure wild lettuce extract. You can pour it in a small glass container like this. Put it in your medicine cabinet for later use when you need it. Wild lettuce is unscheduled by the FDA. You need legal to grow, own, and internalize, just like how the Native Americans used to heal their pain. In The Lost Ways, you'll find lots of these common and valuable how to use them, all with difference. In his book, How does an old-fashioned guy by any standard? He lives with his two children in a log cabin personally built. Cooks outside on a layman most for the life. No tea. Here. That will ensure your kids are well fed. There's a rummage. In fact, these 3 old teachings will improve your life as they did for me immediately once you hear them.
Hi, my name is Claude Davis. You may know me from my website, askaprepper.com, or you may have seen my warnings in the media. A few of you know me personally. My story is emotionally heavy, with struggles and disappointments, but also with faith in God and a strong will to survive that finally led to my being here. So pay close attention, because this video will change your life for the good. Lesson number 1, don't take anything for granted. My grandfather came to America from the Ukraine just before World War II. Started at a small farm in Texas. But before that, when he was still in Ukraine, he survived a horrific famine. A few of you know me personally. Out of the 100 families that lived on his street, only 20 people lived to tell the tale. What you're about to hear is a real recollection, as it was written in a personal journal just after the crisis by one of his neighbors. Where did all the bread disappear?
I don't really know. Maybe they've taken it all abroad. The authorities have confiscated it, removed it from the villages, loaded grain into the railway coaches, and took it a place. They searched the houses, weighed everything to the smallest thing. All the vegetable gardens, all the cellars were raked out, and everything was taken away. It was so dreadful that every day became engraved in my memory. People were lying everywhere as dead flies. stench was awful. Many of our neighbors and acquaintances from our street died. We tried to survive the best we could. We collected grass, goosefoot, burdocks, rotten potatoes, and made pancakes, soups from putrid beans or nettles, and collected clay from the trees and ate it. Ate sparrows, pigeons, cats, dogs. When there was still cattle, it was eaten first, and then the domestic animals. Some were even eating their own children. I would never have been able to eat my child. One of our neighbors came home when her husband, suffering from severe starvation, ate their own baby daughter. This woman went crazy.
Another neighbor wrote a petition to the authorities. Here's just a paragraph. Please return the grain that you have confiscated from me. If you don't return it, I'll die. I'm 78 years old. I'm incapable of searching for food by myself. Of course, nobody cared. In a crisis, it's everyone for himself. Although, in many cases, families did still remain families. Just after the winter, when there was absolutely nothing to eat, my grandfather, together with his mother, went to the nearest town where the government had established a soup kitchen. Unfortunately, the 25-mile-long journey was too much for his mother. After just 5 miles, she couldn't walk anymore. My grandfather noted in his journal, "Mother said, save yourself. Run to town." I turned back twice. I could not bear to leave my mother, but she begged and cried, and I finally went for good. I don't know about you, but I'm a father myself. And when I read this, I burst into tears. Please allow me to take a wild guess without you getting mad at me. Your life's not perfect. But at least you have a computer or a mobile device to view this on. Your fridge is probably half full. And while you have your problems, starvation is not one of them. And even though your job or retirement could be more enjoyable, you probably have enough money to at least get by. That's great. But make no mistake taking this for granted. History has shown us many times that it can all fly away in a split second. The biggest misstep that you can make right now is to think that this can never happen in America or to you. All that my grandfather and our ancestors came here and formed America lived through would be in vain. So lesson number 2. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Call me old-fashioned, I don't care. But I completely believe in America and what our ancestors stood for. They all had a part in turning this land into one of the most powerful countries in the world. Many died and suffered before our creative mind found an ingenious solution to maybe a century-old problem. Believe it or not, our ancestors' skills are all covered in American blood. This is why these must be fought for and protected and handed on for them to do the same for our children and our children's children. Now, my friends, we are sitting on the edge of oblivion. Our fathers and our grandfathers were probably the last generation to practice basic things like building a root cell or making pemmican. Our ancestors laid the bricks and built the world's strongest foundation that we are about to irreversibly forget.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay the ultimate price for this. Because if you have a big, strong house with a weak foundation, it doesn't matter if it looks nice on the outside. The next flood will sweep it away. And that is exactly what will happen to most Americans in a coming crisis. Here we are, human beings in the 21st century, several lifetimes in a world away from our grandparents and their ways. Have we become better at living? I think not. I watch as we become ever more expectant that the world owes us a living. Consumerism has reached epic proportions, and people feel aggrieved if they don't own the latest gadget. The truth is, we have never been more disconnected from life, from the world, oil, from the trees, and from our own souls. We are straying away from our roots on a dangerous road from which there will be no turning back. And the good and the bad news is that we are the last generation that can truly do something about it. We no longer know how to live without refrigerators, without cars, without phones. What will you do tomorrow? I sometimes even think we're kidding ourselves with our bug-out bags and with our 3-day food rations. Wouldn't we be better off looking at what the pioneers took with them when they traveled from Independence, Missouri, all the way to Oregon City? Game meat was unreliable even that. If you're like on this bug-out bag, would you too? I know I would stick with what the pioneer had with him. He traveled with so much help, taking cover, but at the same time. And this is just a small, tiny example. I don't want to see our forefathers' knowledge disappear into the darkness of time. If you care for your family and what America stands for, then neither should you. This is the third and most important lesson of all. It's always up to you. I believe in God and in the power of free will. I believe that you're the only one in charge of your destiny, and you are constantly making decisions that shape the rest of your life. It's true that we all had different starts, depending on our family's upbringing. But most of us here in the United States had at least decent beginnings. We had shopping from with other countries. If anything goes wrong with this country, don't blame the government or the president. They don't really care about you or your family. You'll be the only in charge of your fate. In the sky. God helps you, but He doesn't just lay it on your table. You have to work hard and do things yourself. As long as you're aware of this, your destiny rests solely on you and your willpower. You can truly change things, and you can do a lot more than you think you can. With this idea in mind, 15 years ago, I wanted to do something that hadn't been done before. Something that not only would help me survive a crisis without investing a fortune in stockpiles, but something that I could do around my house on a daily basis, using only methods that were tested and proven by our forefathers for centuries. I wanted to unearth and learn the forgotten ways of our great-grandparents. I went to my grandfather to find out how he survived, to learn the little secrets that helped him stay alive in spite of almost everyone else dying. He was now almost 90. The old man was still in good shape. For 3 weeks on end, I absorbed his lessons like a dry sponge. On top of that, we built a lot of things together, including a root cellar and a storm shelter, just like the folks did when he was young. We made lard and ham, and we smoked 4 turkeys and preserved them for winter in 4 different ways, traditional ways, and a lot more. When I was a child, I was raised by my grandparents, but I hadn't spent such a quality time with my grandfather since then. In fact, there were months when we barely even spoke, not because we couldn't stand each other, but because I was always too busy working or taking care of my kids. How lame excuse. A thing that I deeply regretted later on in life. My grandfather passed on a few years ago, and with him a magnificent amount of survival knowledge. I don't know about you, if you're in a similar situation, but think about your grandfather and how many things he did or knew, things that will forever vanish into the dark abyss of ignorance. Because I deeply believed in lesson number 3, that I was the only one who could change something. My goal for the last couple of years changed from not just learning, but saving our forefathers' ways. This is one of the most important things that I've done in my life. I'm proud of it. but it took me 5 difficult years. First, there is no person that knows all of our forefathers' forgotten secrets. Let's just say that there are still a handful of people that still practice a lost skill, transmitted from generation to generation, even today. But not all the skills, of course. I had to get in touch with a lot of people. Second, where do you find these guys? There are no mainstream survival experts. They don't have a website or a TV show. Some of them even live in remote areas without internet or TV cable, earning a living, like the pioneers did. Third, I wanted to do something unprecedented. You know articles like 11 skills your great-grandparents had that you don't. And then they start listing the skills: hunting and fishing, foraging and butchering and stuff like that. This kind of information never helped anybody. I needed something solid, exact, and to the point. And not just skills. I wanted to know the things that they actually built, ate, and stored, exactly how they did it. And fourth, I'm not sitting on a gold mine. As much as I enjoyed traveling and learning these skills, I still needed to go to work. But what I didn't realize when I started my journey is that you can't just save these skills by writing them down. If all these writings will be forgotten in a dusty drawer right next to my bed, it won't help anybody. This knowledge will die together with me, and all my efforts to save our forefathers' ways would have been in vain. This is because all my life I blindly believed in lesson number 3, that it's always up to me, but I was wrong. In this case, it's only halfway there. It's also up to you. Today is your chance to be part of saving our ancestors' lost ways. I wanted to make this information available to every family out there without having to spend years of their lives or thousands of dollars. So I came up with this great idea to edit all my manuscripts to turn all this lost knowledge into one of the greatest books of this century. The Lost Ways, Saving Our Forefathers' Skills. I designed and edited the book in an old-fashioned way, but most of it is not written by me personally, because I didn't want people to read a second-hand account. I'm sure a lot of information would have been lost in the process. You know, those little secrets that make a thing really work, those little things that make a big difference. So I paid these experts for their time, and I got what I wanted. These people are not professional writers, but instead are uniquely special. They're neither the strong, badass type you see in Rambo movies, nor the ultra-rich preppers from reality shows. They're simple people who know a lost skill very well. They're smart, shrewd, and wise enough to survive for months or even years in the world's most remote places. Here's just a glimpse of what you'll find in the Lost Ways. You'll discover the lost remedies used by our ancestors for centuries. And I'm not talking about rare and complicated insights that only a botanist knows. I'm talking about plants that grow in your backyard or around your house. Very common weeds. For example, I'm sure you've already seen this plant. This is wild lettuce, also known as opium lettuce. For a good reason, it has side effects similar to morphine, but milder. Being by far the strongest natural painkiller that grows in your backyard. This milky substance inside this plant doesn't contain any opiates, but it's acting directly on the central nervous system, or CNS, to lessen the feeling of pain. Many people have used it as a replacement for addictive prescription pain medicine. Wild lettuce is unscheduled by the FDA, meaning it is legal to forage, to grow, and own without prescription or license. Just like the Native Americans used it to heal their pain. In the Lost Ways, you'll find lots of these common, invaluable weeds with pictures, how to identify them, how to prepare them, and how to use them, all with different medical effects. Because when the medical system collapses, this will be your only option to heal yourself. Lex Rucker will show you how to make pemmican with basic ingredients you can find in any Walmart. The superfood was invented and largely used by Native American scouts, as well as early Western explorers, who were on their own for months at a time. This nutritious food was light, compact, and high in protein, carbohydrates, and vitamins. If done properly, it can last anywhere from a few years up to a lifetime without refrigeration. In fact, if you have this food, you don't need anything else. Because a person could subsist entirely on this food, drawing on the fat for energy, protein for strength, and the vitamins for health. You'll also discover 25 other survival foods that we lost to history. You can bring them back to life and improve your stockpiles so you'll never run out of food in a crisis. Or you can spend fun weekends with your family, recreating old survival recipes like mud apples or Johnny cake. From Ruff Simons, an Old West history expert and former deputy, you'll learn the techniques and methods used by wise sheriffs from the frontiers to defend an entire village, despite being outnumbered and outgunned by gangs of robbers and bandits. Now you can use their wisdom to defend your home against looters when you'll be surrounded. Native American Eric Bainbridge took part in the reconstruction of the native village of Kulalaklo in California. I'll show you how Native Americans built a subterranean roundhouse, an underground house that today will serve you as a storm shelter, a perfectly camouflaged hideout, or a bunker. Can easily shelter 3 to 4 families. So how you feel when all hell breaks loose, be able to call all your loved ones and offer them guidance and shelter. Besides that, the subterranean roundhouse makes an awesome root cellar. You can keep all your food and water reserved year-round. There's China's dairies. Learn how sailors in the 17th century preserved water in their ships for months on end, even years. Now you can use this method to preserve clean water for your family, cost-free. Mike Sears is a firearm and Old West history expert. I'll show you what to do when there's no more ammo to be had. How people who wandered the West managed to hunt 8 deer with 6 bullets, and why the supply of ammo never ran out. Remember the panic buying the first half of 2013? That was nothing compared to what's going to precede the collapse. From Susan Morrow, an ex-science teacher and chemist, they'll master the art of poultice. She says, if you really explore the ingredients in which our forefathers made poultices, you'll be totally surprised by the similarities with modern medicines. Well, how would you feel in a crisis to be the only one from the group knowledgeable about this lost skill? There are no more antibiotics. They turn to you to save their ill children's lives. If you liked our video tutorial on how to make pemmican, and you'll love this, I'll show you how to make another superfood that our troops were using in the Independence War. And even George Washington made on some occasion. And this food goes bad. I'm not talking about honey or vinegar. I'm talking about real food. The awesome part of this, you can make this food in just 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure you already have the ingredients in your house right now. Really, this is all the peak. The Law is a far-reaching book with chapters ranging from simple things like making tasty bark bread, like people did when there was no food, to building a traditional backyard smokehouse, and many, many, many more. And believe it or not, this is not all. To get the Lost Ways right now, you receive 3 exclusive reports. It'll be off the table soon.
Not rain.
There's an old saying that our great-grandparents used to know. Once in a life, you need a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, and a preacher. Every day, 3 times a day, you need a farm. So the first report you'll get is what every survivalist should grow in his backyard, especially where it contains the most nutritious and toughest plants. You should start growing so you'll never run out of food. These plants are reliable in the worst possible conditions, flooding or light deprivation. You'll also find instructions about how to plant, grow, harvest, and store them. I'm also pretty sure you've heard this one saying that it's not the strongest species that survive or the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. So the second bonus you'll get is how to outlive an EMP, the Early Pioneer Way, which is a day-by-day guide that shows you what to do after an EMP every day for 30 days using the Lost Ways. Think about it this way. If an EMP had struck in the late 1800s, nobody would have noticed it. Our great-grandparents didn't even know what an EMP was, and nor did they know what modern technology was. But they surely lived, survived, and prospered without it. Now things are a little bit different. And because this event can happen all of a sudden with no warning whatsoever, it might be difficult, even for the smartest minds, to know what to do from the moment the running water stops and your food spoils to the moment when looters come knocking at your door. So in this report, you'll learn the 10 things that you should do on day 1, what to make on day 2, what you definitely need to turn to on day 3, and so on, till day 30, when you'll be absolutely 100% self-sufficient, protected, and able to help others if you want to. Unless you're living in a bunker full of stockpiles. Doing these things in the wrong order may literally mean death. I'll show you what to do every day, so you'll never run out of water, food, or heat. And then what to do or build to improve things day by day. Another old saying people used to say is, for every minute you spent organizing, an hour is earned. So the third report you'll get is a step-by-step guide for building your own can rotation system. It can hold at least 700 cans of different sizes. You will never have to look at 50 cans for expiration dates. You'll never have to throw away cans again because they've spoiled. Can Rotator is not only a time saver, but a money saver. As you can see in this video, the mechanism is very simple. And whenever you buy new cans, you insert them at the upper shelf. Cans will automatically roll down. They will be the last in the row. When you pick them up, you do so from the shelf below. So you always pick the can that you bought first, and therefore with the closest expiration date. Cool and efficient. Oh, the one that you saw in the video, I built for only $95. Pretty cheap if you think that Can Rotator costs $420 on Amazon, only holds 450 cans, and theirs aren't even that cool. Once you have the plans and the step-by-step guide with pictures, all it takes is just 1 day of work, even less. So if you choose to save the lost ways now, you'll also get these 3 exclusive bonuses that are worth $29 each for free, and unlimited access to the members area where you can ask me anything at any time. I'll be there to answer your questions and help you if you need clarification on anything. By knowing the ways of our forefathers, believe it or not, you're covered for anything.
Wow. So, Survivor.
You'll never have to spend money on any prepping material again. Forget about unreliable and expensive modern survival equipment. Why even bother reinventing the wheel when these things have been working right for centuries? The Lost Ways prepares you to deal with worst case.
Just finding the. Oh, here we are. Right, this website was promoting a book. Let's have a look. I think you might be able to find similar on Amazon quite cheap, actually. So, yeah, £30 UK currency. So, how you Tanya? ClickBank. I think you might be able to research these books. Let's look at the title. Can't see the actual title of the book in more detail. It's a website promoting these survival books. Oh, the website I had earlier, now the rain. Let me go back. It's non-stop right now. Let's check. Still going to at 9, so it's a couple of more hours. So tomorrow's meant to stop. Again, that's how long for. The temperatures are going down. They never. Let's have a look. Tomorrow's meant to be brighter. Let's have a look at the It's been non-stop, constantly, all day. Sunday, meant to have a bit more rain as well. Let's have a look at this. It's not a very good forecast thing I've got. It's unbelievable. Constant rain and strong winds meant to be easing. Occasional showers as well tomorrow afternoon. Briefly heavy in places. What about coming Monday? Sunshine and showers, at times perhaps thundery. Do you know what I mean? Likely becoming wet and windy again on Tuesday. Let's see. It's just unsettled. Yeah. So. Right, so the Beast AI quantum superintelligence. Everything on Earth watch will get emergency food supply. Yeah, well, where can you get it from? Because the website I tried just now looking up, couldn't find it. That book, this website promoting God, all the videos of the YouTube channel I earlier put in the chat. Yeah, is still in the chat somewhere. So then you'll find the links I was just listening to. So I'll do a screen share for the last time. And then I'll put some chill out music on. And I'll have to just switch off in the background. Because it's unbelievable, this weather. Right, screen sharing is on, and this is the channel. It's worth every time I try and play it, it's constantly being hacked in. So they're pulling the British Army in for, you know what, this just really is not time to panic. Easier said than done. Yeah, there's a lot of, we're not going to be here too long with the internet on because this is, I need to rest. So Mo popped in and I'll up on the document linked to Freemasonry. I'm going to put just for research purposes. Let me just get rid of some links popped up. There's a book basically, quite detailed. The link, the Mormonism, the history is with Freemasonry, the Luciferian, which you started the chat off about. Seeing what happened to me, but there'd be again. You know what I mean? This document is somebody that's exposed what's been going on for years, but frequencies are really strong at the moment. So 13 bloodline families, mind control. This is where I found the book. 13 bloodlines, part 1, part 2. The book, part 2. One world where we are to date. Everything worldwide. So it's quite, it all links back again in history. The Masonic religion. And you're looking at dates again, 1888, so you got 1888, okay? And it's just, again, you just need some time to read. There's not a lot of people can have the time span these days. 3 policy process of Christian religions. This individual author has actually gone into a lot of research. And it's detailed. So let's go into part 3 of the video because it's easier to watch than read, but I couldn't find it. The new monetary system, this is important. H.G. Wells became a prophet. He felt the capitalist vision for mankind could be turned around. It's decided to adapt the plans run by a benevolent dictatorship. This benevolent religious order of technicians would pander all your worst instincts. He refers to them as an elite of intelligent, religious-minded people. However, in religion, what way? A new religion based in the Eastern Magistics. This new religion would sweep away old institutions and usher in a new world order that would save the human race. The conspiracy of modern religion against established institutions of the world must be an open conspiracy. H.G. Wells said the religion of the New Order as a less secret form of Freemasonry. The video Things to Come made from the film, based in this book The Shape of Things to Come, is available for viewing on the larger video stores in the movie. A reference is made to the science of Freemasonry, intelligent, often wealthy men, who constructed scientifically trained and fictionally class with a global view, would rule as a service elite. Where have you heard? We global view would rule as a service. Where have you heard we are moving toward a service economy before? Wells describes this in its more development phrase. I seem to see the new republic as a sort of outspoken secret society, with which even the prominent men of the a sensible state may be openly affiliated. The new Republicans will constitute an informal and open Freemasonry. No wonder the Freemasons hail him as their prophet. Wells called this Masonic rulership a cult of the world state. Wells called this Masonic in the salving of civilization, 1921 claimed he would direct education and mass media propaganda. This group is similar to Plato's guardian elite's corpse in Plato's Utopia. In a Fortnightly Review article in 1897, H. G. Wells challenged the intellectuals and teachers who control the apparatus of moral suggestions to unite and promulgate a new world faith. In the same suggestion to unite, he publicized a story of days to come, in which his open conspiracy was even more plainly foreshadowed. If religion is to develop uninfinitely directive power, it must adapt itself. Man's soul is part of a greater being which lived before he was born and will survive him. The idea of a survival of the indefinite individual dissolves to nothing in this new view of immortality. Wells' mentor was T. H. Huxley, was Darwin's good friend. Not only was Wells an amusing talker with ideas, he had a real gift for thinking up and writing his plans for a new world in a way that people could enjoy reading. His economic plans are highly regarded by the One World conspiracy. A brief outlook at the plans. Wells' The Shape of Things to Come, page 248 book, envisioned a world run by technology's experts. Money would be done away with, and the medium of exchange would become the unit of energy. In a modern utopia, I think it's pronounced, in his chapter on economics, he envisions a world language and the worldwide freedom of scale and purchase. He writes, bookkeeping will naturally be done most conveniently in units of physical energy. Accounts between central and local governments could keep in these terms, so units of physical energy. However, one may imagine the utopian plan, local authorities making contracts in which payment would be no longer in coinage upon the gold basis, but in notes, good for so many thousands or millions of years, and millions of, let me just repeat that, gold coinage upon the gold basis, but in notes good for many years, or thousands of millions of years, or millions of units for energy at one or another for the generating stations. Page 83. H. G. Wells doubting that a thorough communist utopia could survive, but a socialist one that allowed individuality and individual initiative would. The new utopia needs to provide for further, he writes, in a modern utopia, the world state in this idea presents itself for the sole landowner of the earth. It will lease land to companies and individuals. The state is to take most of a man's inheritance. Bloody hell. Well, state that the new world order for the new world. Now all roads lead to socialism or socialism dissolution. In the open conspiracy, H.G. Wells warns of the problem radical discrimination will bring to a new world order. One problem, radical discrimination. Yeah, I read that. Further on page 133, he writes, big business must carry big business into the open conspiracy. Back on the page 30, advertises religion, modern and disillusioned of political, social and economic life, or admit itself a mere drug of political, social, economical life, or merged drug for easing discomfort. What are the necessary operating stages in the synopsis of that effort? What we work toward is synesics, is it? And this common communal effort is the event of humanity. Setting religion to the control and direction of the power, Wells' non-fictional works, he repeatedly declares that everyday reality is the only reality we know, and that our ideas about that is one. Well, it goes into samples of the Ford Foundation bankrolling of the Industrialist Peace Quorum, later renamed Muslim Jewish Christian Conference, founded in 1976 to bring together representatives of the world major faiths to discuss world economic and political issues. So the search for the new economic order, and 2 books from these conferences, World Faiths, World Order, edited by Joseph Glemrianson and Meg George Bunny, for the Skull and Bones Order, happened to be the president of Ford Foundation when all this occurred. The world religion leaders are getting involved in the economic aspect of the New World Order. It all sounds so beginneth. The precise parasites that has invested. Oh my god, I can't read anymore. I'm just going to play some music in the background and chill out. So we know in the nutshell, basically, it's all controlled by the history of the 13 bloodline families, as I said before. So there you go. I've had enough of this. I've got to stop and rest. Yeah. Oh, because this weather and these frequencies don't mix together. So let's just get this charged up. I should find some energy to have a wash. Wow. Great. Dropping everything now. Oh, radiating the bloody body. Demonic. This weather is absolutely disgusting. Never stops this bloody rain all day. Okay. Yeah, she's on that other channel, Tanya, if you're still about. I'm tired for the rest of the minute. These frequencies are really ramped up.
Christian conference.
Don't want to listen to the rain, to do my head in. You're very tired. Yeah, it's really bad weather over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and play something different in the background. Stop sharing this. This pathetic, demonic. Stop sharing. Yeah. I haven't been getting any rest per se. I just want to see if this thing is on. So now I'm going to go into playlist. It's an open yeah, that I was trying to play, but it wasn't working. So let's see who else is going live. See what they're doing. How I'm constantly getting hacked. Other people in parts of the world are getting loads of views into the channels. But I am getting the Canary Island volcano is the same. The Secrets of Joshua. Let's just have a look. Is the UK economy collapsing? Well, of course it is. It's all by design. Oh. I said to my son, it'd be nice if you're eating vegetarian pizza. Well, good luck to you. To keep attacking me with dual energy weapons at the moment. Paris. Protests continue to erupt over in Paris. Let's have a look at that. Tapped out back in England. Back in England. There's a lot of people in Paris. Different parts of the world, actually. Austria. Wow. People fighting back. That's over in Europe. Protests continue. Let's check my return to social media. What's going on? Let's have a look. Open information channel. Let's have a look at this. Protests continue throughout France. Wow. Massive amount of public.
Clermont-Ferrand, 2 octobre, la mobilisation continue. On lâche pas l'affaire. Planned for the Tory Power Conference, yeah. Let's have a look. Protests erupted around France. Footage from multiple cities in France. The nation rises up against you-know-what passports. Have a look. What else? Football, you-know-what crisis. 2/3 of two-flight footballers are not, you-know-what. Stars are polluting dressing rooms. Sprouting, you-know-what, anti-you-know-what theories about Bill Gates. And using. Wow. People are waking up in droves to certain subjects. Can't mention on this channel. Not going to open that link. Sweden lifts all restrictions in Europe of you know what. Why have they done it? Nobody else. 29th of night 21 article. After Denmark and Norway, and Sweden is the third country to do that. Oh right, so wearing a mask in airports and planes, international rules apply, and the testing stay. Still need to require to take the you know what for travelling. I'm going to that subject. Let's have a look further down. Wow, there's a lot of people involved. Thousands. Wow, I've never seen that. That's in Canada, Alberta, 18th of 9th, 2021. Oh, what's the UK plan to do now? The UK plans to reform the Official Secret Statute Act. Oh. May result in heavy prison sentences for journalists over stories that embarrass. What? Embarrass the authorities? You what? Let's have a look. Changes to UK statute law could mean jail time for journalists handling leaked documents. Really? The new statute law, if adopted at the time, could result in the assumption of prosecution of journalists who expose a breaking of why? He would expose the breaking of the COVID-19 rules by former Matt Hancock, public servant. Critics have reportedly claimed the UK plans to reform. It's called the Official Secrets Act, a statute law. Don't know what date. Might result in what breaches. This doesn't go into specifics. Over stories that embarrasses who? These are companies. NHS England Limited and Public Health England Limited, a head office in Leeds. And every town and city, they're all set up as public companies. So it's the mainstream media claimed, I haven't seen that article, Daily Mail, according to their, don't know where they get the source from, the new statute law change would deprive journalists handling leaked documents of a defence if charged under new statute law. What? To clamp down on foreign agents. Foreign who? Representatives of what? What, from different countries, is that? By human rights organisations and the Law Commission reportedly argue for the inclusive of public interest defence. Yeah, public interest. I would have thought that would prevent those journalists who receive leaked documents. Don't know much about this. Home Office insists it would undermine their efforts to prevent damaging unauthorised disclosures. Since the passage of their statute in 1989, the unprecedented developments in communication technology, right, here we go, including data storage and rapid data transfer tools, in their view means that unauthorised disclosures are now capable of causing more serious damage. What, with the Internet of Things? It claims. The National Union of Journalism in England, like, I think it's relating to a lot of whistleblowers out there, maybe. There is a group called Open Rights Group. I don't know much about it yet. Independent research of that subject, in my opinion, is required. Again, someone's posted something about new measures coming to England in autumn and winter. Read a summary of the proposals. Mandatory is not law, it's a requirement. Certification in a Plan B scenario. Evidence until 11th October. The call it autumn-winter plan in England. Anything NHS is either contract primary care, contracted out to private companies. So if you look at look at these companies and the evidence and the documents, the company house documents, you'll find the board of directors and the public knowledge. So who are they protecting? Board of directors? And where families are going to suggesting Plan B. If you want to go to nightclubs, music venues, outdoor venues, sports events, then your proposals in England is being required to have papers, please. Oh my goodness me. The consultation, by the way, please research the Department of Health and Social Care, okay, is a limited company. I've got the Dun and Bradstreet.co.uk, the Dun's company number, and their account's already saved. Anybody can research this information wherever you live. This is unprecedented times we're living in. The experience of recruiting certification on a voluntary basis over the summer and on the proposals of the workforce. This was published Wednesday, when was it published? 27th September 2021. Description. I'll rushing this through. Published on 14th September 2029, that aims for the future challenges, suggesting mandatory vaccination only certification could be introduced to all visitors for what O ratings. Members of workforce 18 and over in these settings could then be required to test regularly if they're not fully, The proposals for mandatory, certification plan B scenario tends to take a proportionate approach to balance the impact of public health with the economy and social impacts, focusing on settings where crowds mix and come into close contact, requiring the vaccination-only certification could allow settings that have experienced long periods of closure to remain open, compared to more stringent measures which may severely reduce capacity or cause them to close permanently or entirely. To engage in certification proposals affect businesses and civil society to ensure measures are proportionate and effective. They claimed a review of status certification, including a public call for evidence. They received 52.40 responses are again seeking stakeholders' views. Exemptions. The following have an exemption for certification. Anyone over 18 years of age. No, under 18, those. Police officers, local councils, public servants, officers, emergency services, responders, acting in official duties. Oh look, and a diplomat or someone working for international organisations. So they won't need that. Question. Do you think other groups should be exempt from these requirements? Question. Are there any groups, particularly those who with protected characteristics, that you would think would benefit from a vaccine certification becoming mandatory in the settings listed where? What settings? Are there any groups, particularly those with protected characteristics, that you think would be placed at a disadvantage from a vaccine classification becoming mandatory in the settings listed? What settings? Let's have a look. Right. All nightclubs and other venues open after 1 a.m. with alcohol, music and dancing. Indoor, crowded settings with 500 or more attendees, where those attendees are likely to be in close proximity to people from other households, such as music events or large receptions. Outdoor crowded settings with 4,000 or more attendees, where those attendees are likely to be in close proximity other than the households, i.e. festivals. Any settings with 10,000 or more attendees, like sports and music stadiums. These are the settings that will be exempt. Let's look at this correctly. There are some settings that will be exempt from the requirements, such as wedding ceremonies, funerals, and other common church events, whatever that means, and communal worship. Because you wouldn't have large gatherings, would you? So, do you think that the list of settings is too narrow or captures too many settings? That's the questions they're asking in the consultation. They're quoting visitors and staff now. They're limiting the questions here. Which of the following describes your opinion about COVID-19 vaccination status of people who choose to attend venues and events where certifications would be required? Well, I suppose younger people might go for it, and if you really want to visit all these venues, you're taking your health in your consideration. I wouldn't even the way the economic climate's going, I wouldn't even focus on your food and supply and stuff. Oh dear. So UK is now trying to push this and get who knows this? There's a lot of things going on. Okay, for now I'm gonna go.